Have you ever wondered what's going to happen to your Social Security if you pass away? Maybe you have loved ones who depend on you for your income, and not having that income anymore would drastically impact their quality of life. Well, today I'm going to cover exactly what happens to your Social Security when you pass. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications if you find value in my videos, and drop a comment on anything that you can think of and anything that you want to make me to make another video on. So when someone passes, they get their Social Security. Now, their Social Security can be continued to be paid to someone else in the form of Social Security survivorship benefits. These are typically paid to the spouses of the deceased or dependents of eligible workers. Now, what happens is the survivor keeps the highest of the two incomes. So in my line of work, what I see most people ask me questions about is, for example, husband and wife. Say John gets $2,000 a month in Social Security and Betty gets $1,100 a month in Social Security. John's $2,000 and Betty's $1,100 makes $3,100 total. If John dies, though, Betty doesn't continue to get both of those incomes. She actually only gets the larger of the two. So she would get John's $2,000 and lose her $1,100. Now, the people who would qualify for this are any widow or widowers over 60. So the spouse of the deceased has to be over 60 years old or over 50 years old if that spouse of the deceased is currently disabled. Or it would go to the widow or widower of the deceased if they are taking care of the deceased child. So same example, say John has a kid and Betty is taking care of John's kid, and John's kid is either under 16 years old or disabled. John passes, Betty would still receive that income. Doesn't really matter how old she is. If the child of the deceased is unmarried, okay, and if the deceased didn't have a spouse and the child of the deceased isn't married and they're under 18 years old, they could potentially be eligible to receive that deceased person's Social Security survivorship benefit. Or if someone passes and they have a child who is 18 or older with a disability. Now, I don't know exactly what their definition of disability is, but if it's a child 18 or older who has a disability that began before age 22, then they are eligible to receive their survivorship benefits. When someone passes and they're on Social Security, the survivor is eligible to receive a one-time $255 payment, in addition to the other survivorship income benefits that I had discussed. This is important too. So if the Social Security recipient, example here, John and Betty, okay, say John's making $2,000 a month, Betty's making $1,100. If John passes away and then Betty still keeps getting that John's $2,000 in her account for a couple months, after he passes, Betty has to return that back to the Social Security Administration, write him a check. I don't know exactly how they want it, but I'm sure if you give them a call, they'll tell you how to get their money back. I know they should get to keep it, but they do want it back. Now, when John passes, the funeral home is going to alert the Social Security Administration that John had passed. So Betty doesn't have to worry about reporting that, and then they will automatically process the survivorship benefits on their end. But if you need to, just call 1-800-772-1213. That's the Social Security Administration's number, 1-800-772-1213, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and they should be there to help you get those survivorship benefits figured out. So I hope this helped you learn exactly what happens to your Social Security income when you pass. Subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications. If this is valuable for you, drop a comment, email me at jve@thejve.com. For most of the people watching this, really what you're going to want to know is that when you pass, if you're married, your Social Security benefits will go to your spouse if yours was the larger one, and they will lose theirs. Okay, so the surviving spouse gets to keep the larger of the two Social Security income streams. And previously in the video, I covered other reasons why other situations where people would continue to receive the deceased individual's Social Security benefits. So I hope this helped you. I look forward to making more videos. Thank you.